Hey everyone, welcome to another session of Scrap Your Stash taught by the Two Piece Garden Girls every Thursday. Today I want to share with you how to scrap your stash of pink, one of my favorite colors. So I have limited supplies right now because we're moving to Germany in just a couple of weeks, but even with my limited supplies I was able to find a whole bunch of pink materials such as cardstock, patterned papers, Mr. Huey's, die cuts, arrows, brads, sequins, pearls, jewels, anything and everything pink that I could find, I grabbed. So I want to start by creating some texture on a background. So I've grabbed this doily mask, and with some white Mr. Huey's mist, I spray over this doily mask and take off the mask and set the cardstock aside to dry. And while the cardstock is drying, I want to go ahead and punch a 1-inch square from each of my 6x6 pattern papers. They're all pink, they're different shades, tones, but they're all monochromatic, and just want to punch a square from each of them. And once you have the squares, trim them into triangles just from one corner to the other. Now, if you have a triangle punch, that's awesome, but I don't have one, so a square punch will do. Just trim each square into triangles. I just grab a stack of 3 or 4 at a time and skip ahead so all the triangles are ready to go. And I want to create a fun pattern on the left half of my layout, so I just begin placing the triangles down the layout. And there's not really a rhyme or reason. Well, I guess there is. I don't want the same pattern right next to each other, and I want a nice contrast of dark and light triangles next to each other. Or another fun technique would to try and create an ombre effect, which is really popular right now. So I'm just placing these kind of in a quilt-inspired pattern, and I'm leaving gaps here and there because I know I want to add some embellishments once all the triangles are placed. So once all the triangles are glued, flip the page over and trim off the excess. And flip it back over. Now it's time to add the embellishments. Got some brads, some buttons. I'm sticking them down with handy dandy glue dots, so they'll stay there forever. It's just a matter of figuring out which brads I like where. And then once they're all attached through the cardstock, I like to push them down to make sure the prongs are as flat as can be. And what's a layout without photos? So that's the next step. Got these cute pictures of my daughter Jane wearing pink. That's where I got the inspiration, from all the pink that she wears. I like to bend up the edges just a little bit, create some dimension, and later on I actually put 3D foam dots underneath the edges just to create that more dimension. So I've grabbed these pink die cuts from the Pier collection by Crate Paper, and I'm tucking them under the photos to create some fun interest. Distress the edges for that die cut. Create a little peekaboo under here with that pink and gold metallic foil die cut. And here's some chipboard flowers from a Dear Lizzie collection. I have a hard time finding a home for this heart. I move it around a few times before I find a permanent home for it. There's the beginning of the title. I want to call this Hello Jane. I'll show you how to do the Jane part later. These arrow paper clips by Freckled Fawn are one of my new favorite embellishments. They come in practically every color under the sun, so you can find the perfect color for your layouts. A light pink one and a dark pink one. Okay, let's find a home for this heart. There we go. And here I'm going to stick down the other half of this. It could be over there. Some pink sequins, some sparkle and shine, my cute little girl. For the second half of the title, I want to embroider the word Jane. And using an Amy Tangerine embroidery kit would make this a lot easier, but I don't have mine right now. So I draw the name and I'm going to poke holes through it about every 1/4 inch, just using a pencil. And then I erase the pencil marks because I don't want to see them anymore. And then using some pink floss, I'm going to embroider using a back stitch, I think that's what it's called, through the holes that I poked. I like to do this in front of a good movie, television show. Makes the time go by faster and I'm getting some stuff done. After I stitched the title, I added a few more things like jewels, a couple more sequins, but it's pretty much done. Here's the finished layout once again. It's a monochromatic pink with lots of texture to create interest and depth. Here's another monochromatic layout that I made for a past Garden Girl project. And another layout using triangles with my square punch. So your challenge is to create a monochromatic layout using your stash. Thanks so much for joining me this time. See you next month.